Well, it's been an interesting week. I feel like there's a lot to talk about, but one thing that I want to get into before we talk about anything is I want to acknowledge one of our awesome listeners, Joey Misfit. Joey listened to our great conversation we had last week about some of the differences between Batman and Superman and when they fight and all that kind of stuff. We had a whole conversation about why they shouldn't fight, and he tagged us in this awesome post, and I want to read the quote. It contains an iconic Batman quote that I'm going to be reading for you right now. It says, "It is a remarkable dichotomy. In many ways, Clark is the most human of us all. Then he shoots fire from the skies, and it is difficult not to think of him as a god. And how fortunate we all are that it does not occur to him." Joey, that was a great pull. That was a great pull, and I just want to
Yeah,
thank
definitely.
you for sending that line and for enjoying the show that in the way that you are. Got me thinking, and it's something I was talking about today on the Twitter. I think Superman fans are just better, Brett. So that's why you got to just get on the bandwagon officially. I know you appreciate Superman more nowadays, but listen, Superman fans are a special breed of person, okay? And I've actually been thinking about this for a while because I feel like the kind of people who get a lump in their throat just watching him be kind to a child or save someone amidst chaos, the kind of people who are moved by his selfless nature and his kindness. I feel like if that speaks to you as a person inside, that says something for the way you treat humanity around you, for the way your outlook on the world. You know what I mean? If you see Superman as boring and you're over him, and it's kind of and you look at him through a cynical lens, and all you think about, I don't would ever do that. I think that says something about your nature too. And I feel like Go ahead, Brett.
And
You
I was,
want to
say, I
say
was
something?
I'm going to give you something just off the cuff here
Oh,
because
here we go.
there's one thing that I don't know if I've ever shared this with anybody, but it
Already.
might be the
Yes.
root of why I've been slow on the uptake with Superman.
Okay.
And I have a past trauma. I have a past
Ooh.
trauma involving Superman. It happened when I was very young. I was
Ooh.
maybe around 2 or 3 years old,
All right,
and I
everyone,
actually
crowd
had
in. Let's hear this. Yeah.
I had a Superman action figure. And if you remember, I don't know if they still make them like this, but back in the day, the action figures used to have a removable cape. And in the cape around the collar was like a little plastic piece. And
A little C-shaped thing. Yeah.
me being just, whatever, a little idiot kid, would love to just chew on the capes all the time and chew on those. And I almost
Oh
choked on a
no.
Superman cape once. So
What?
Superman almost killed me. To,
Wow.
and
Wow.
to be fair, it may have also happened with my Batman action figure too. I don't know, but for the sake of the
But for some
story, we're gonna
reason,
say it was Superman.
yeah. For some reason, you've held it against the last son of Krypton ever since. That doesn't seem hardly fair at all.
That was a trauma that I just remembered right now in the moment.
Wow. Well,
It's
I'm
been
glad you
buried under there.
survived. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you didn't. I'm glad Superman's cape didn't murder you, Brett, and that we
No,
could be here today for episode 143.
I'm
But
definitely sure they stopped making those because kids were
yes, I've
definitely
actually got one a few feet
all
away
over the
from me.
place.
I've got one of those Superman toys in its package still with the removable cape. So
Oh
listen, I'll
my god!
pull it out and trick you with it. You gotta be careful. So listen, speaking of how nice Superman fans are, no,
Yeah.
I wanted to share a cool example of just the kindness that I've encountered while dealing with fellow Superman fans. So when I decided like a year and a half ago that I wanted to start Superman on film, one of the very first things I looked into was the Twitter handle. I'm like, it would be very beneficial to the website to have Superman on film. And when I had tried something similar years past, related to my DJ business, I had a hard time because I found a guy who had the handle that I wanted, but he wanted to charge me like $500 for it. Meanwhile, the handle wasn't even really related to his company. He just liked the name, but he just wouldn't let me have it. So now I entered this exchange a little anxious. I found that there was someone with Superman on film, and I messaged him, and we had a little bit of a back and forth. And I was lucky that they actually knew me, that they, I guess, checked out podcasts or read some of my reports, and
Oh
they're
wow!
like, Mario, you've always been like fair and you've been even handed with your reports. And if you're going to make a website based on this, then yeah, you can have it. And the guy just gave me Superman on film, and we did a swap. And I want to thank him, George. Um, you know, George from Krypton's Codex. I don't even know if you watch the show anymore. It's been a bit since we've spoken, but that to me, like that gesture, like that to me was something that someone who loves Superman would do. It's just
Yeah.
kind, it's just selfless, it's just you can use it more than I, so go ahead and take it. It wasn't now Venmo me money for this Twitter handle. It was just an act of kindness. And to me, that was one of the first things along the way that I'm like, yeah, this Superman on film journey is going to be pretty rewarding in a number of different ways. Because not only do I get to talk about my favorite hero, not only do I get to follow the movies as they start to enter production, and now I have hopefully years worth of Superman movies to cover in the years to come, but I also get to interact with awesome Superman fans for the next several years, however many times, however long I do this. So I just wanted to just send a little appreciation out towards George, towards people like Joey, towards all the listeners who've taken time to leave us kind remarks on Twitter, to write us reviews, to rate and review and share the podcast with their friends. We're really very blessed to have those of you and who are supporting us and laying that kindness on us. And it's very Superman of you guys to be so generous and awesome with your time and your spirit. So anyway,